The edge of enough. Living well with less work. That's what today is all about. Because real security doesn't come from endless hours or constant hustle. It comes from knowing when your needs are met, when your priorities are clear, and when you've hit the point where more work adds stress, but not stability. Stick with me, because at the end, I'll share a bonus tip. A simple weekly practice you can use to keep your life balanced, so you don't drift away from your edge of enough. Before we dive in, I want to offer you a free guide I created. 5 shifts that help you find stability in uncertain times. It's practical, it's short, and it's designed to give you a clear starting point. You'll find it in the description below. Welcome to Guts to Grace, where courage meets change. Here we explore what it takes to face uncertainty with guts, and how to find grace in the middle of it. Guts get you started, grace carries you through. Whether you're between jobs, rethinking your path, or simply trying to live better with less pressure, this is your place to land, learn, and move forward. First off, the edge of enough isn't about cutting life to the bone. It's about clarity. It's the point where your essentials are covered, your time reflects your values, and the pressure to overwork finally eases. Here's the trap. Most people never stop to define it. They chase more money, more hours, more stuff, without asking whether it actually makes them safer or happier. Imagine carrying a backpack for a long hike. The heavier it gets, the more every step hurts. Minimalism says, only carry what you need. The edge of enough says, carry just enough to keep you safe, but light enough to keep moving. Think about this. If you listed your 5 true essentials, the things you must protect to feel secure, would your current lifestyle reflect them? Or are you working extra hours to support things that don't actually make you feel safe? A friend of mine downsized from a high-rent apartment to a smaller space just 10 minutes farther from work. She saved nearly $300 a month. That one change lowered her floor, the amount she needed to feel stable, and gave her a sense of freedom she'd never felt before. That's the edge of enough at work. Secondly, the edge of enough for you isn't just about money. It's about energy. If your days are crammed with work, errands, and obligations, you can't think clearly enough to make smart decisions. Time is as valuable as cash. Your calendar is a budget. Every yes spends energy. Every no protects it. I used to say yes to every request, every coffee chat, every extra task, every quick favor at work. My schedule looked productive, but I was drained. The day I started blocking 2 deep work hours and guarding them fiercely, my output doubled, and my stress dropped. Here's a question for you. If you could free up 1 extra hour this week, what would you do with it? Rest, connect with someone, or work on a long-term goal? Your edge of enough requires you to ask, how much time do I need to feel secure? And how much can I give away before my balance tips? And here's the beauty. When you simplify commitments, you often discover you don't need as much money because you're no longer spending to soothe your exhaustion. Before we go further, let me remind you, I created a free guide that outlines 5 simple shifts to help you build stability with less pressure. It's linked in the description, and it's yours to download. Thirdly, living well with less work doesn't mean never working. It means earning in ways that protect your balance instead of draining it. For many, this means shifting from one fragile income stream to a mix of smaller, more flexible ones. Not 10 side hustles, just a portfolio of steady options. Here's an example that makes sense. Melissa worked retail, with constant overtime demands. She cut one overtime shift per week, 5 hours she never saw her kids, and used that time to launch a simple tutoring gig online. The tutoring brought in almost the same money as overtime, but on her schedule during the day, and freed her evenings for family. She didn't add work. She exchanged draining work for sustainable, flexible income. Think about this. If you could replace 5 hours of stressful work with 3 or 4 hours of flexible, lighter work you enjoy, would you take the trade? Another story, Sam started renting out his woodworking tools on weekends. He wasn't using them every day, but others in his community wanted short-term rentals. That one small choice brought in an extra $150 a month. Not enough to change his life, but enough to pay for groceries without adding a single extra shift. That's what it means to earn differently, shifting away from dependence on one ladder and building small supports that protect your balance. And finally, the edge of enough isn't a place you arrive and never leave. It's a rhythm, a practice of checking in and adjusting before things get too heavy. One powerful habit is a weekly reset. Take 30 minutes to look at 3 areas: money, time, and meaning. Ask, did I cover my essentials this week? Did my time reflect my priorities? Did I invest at least an hour in something meaningful? Now ask yourself this: which tiny adjustment, canceling one task, lowering one bill, protecting one block of time, would keep you closer to your edge of enough next week? I know a woman who built this habit into her Friday evenings. She and her partner would sit down, write their top 3 wins, and list one thing they would let go of for the next week. That simple rhythm kept them from drifting back into overwhelm. Remember the bonus tip I promised? Here it is. Keep a no thank you list. It's a simple page where you write down opportunities, commitments, or purchases that look good, but don't serve your edge of enough. Every time you say no to something that doesn't fit, you're really saying yes to balance, health, and freedom. And one more reflection before we close. What's one area of your life that feels just a little too heavy right now? If you could put it down, even temporarily, how would that change the way you move through your week? So, what's your edge of enough? What's one thing you could release right now that would actually make you feel safer? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your answer. Now that you're on the way to creating your edge of enough, you'll want to learn how you can reinvent your second act. When you combine it with what you just learned in this video, it's going to be way more compelling. The next video in this series is waiting for you. You'll see it right on your screen at the end. It's the natural next step in building your life with less stress. This is Jane with Guts to Grace, reminding you that every step takes guts, and every journey is sustained by grace. I'll see you in the next video.